Good morning. It is Wednesday, May 24th, and currently 63 degrees in Irvine. I finally saw episode 3 or part 3 of Twin Peaks yesterday. I fell asleep over the weekend watching it, or I think Monday, and yesterday I tried watching it again, made it all the way through, made sure I did that early enough. I didn't fall asleep on the couch this time, and I loved it. I just love that show. It's typical David Lynch, like the new stuff that he's done. It's not. I think the original series of Twin Peaks was tame, but his new stuff is just so weird. Or his later stuff, his movies, like Eraserhead and Mulholland Drive, and the new series is just like that. It's super super weird. Um, my wife and I were watching it, and we were commenting about something about how some of the scenes are just so long, and typically when a director shows you a scene for a large period of time, it means that they're trying to show you something. There's something important there, which is why they focus in on something for so long. So they use timing to tell the story when there's no dialogue. David Lynch does that every single scene almost, it seems like. And we were trying to figure out why. So if you haven't seen this show, there's one specific scene where um, Dr. Jacoby is sitting outside and he's in this full like get up, completely covered. And he has a mask and he has this little contraption with some shovels, and they're swinging by, and it's like a little electric motorized conveyor belt holding shovels. And as they move by, he stops them, and then he's spray painting them gold. And this the scene goes on for like at least like 5 minutes. It seems like I don't remember how long it is, but it's long. And we were just commenting, wondering why is this so important? Why is he doing this? And the only thing that I could come up with was that David Lynch seems to do this a lot of times, um, over like different scenes, and it's almost like he wants to slow things down and he wants to drag you through the entire process of whatever it is that's happening. So, for example, I was saying if a character had a glass that they needed to put down in the kitchen sink, David Lynch will take the character and he will make them pick up the glass, turn around, and then walk step by step by step into the kitchen, and then he will put it down, and then he will let go, then he will turn around, and then he will walk back out, and he just drags you through this entire process where anything that you watch now that's modern by any director, what they'll do is they'll show the character in one angle, pick up the glass, then they'll cut to another angle where you catch a glimpse of their back as they're walking out of the room, and then the next scene they'll jump cut into the next scene where you'll see them like put the glass down and you'll hear the glass hit the stainless steel sink, for example, and that's it. And it's super quick, and it's maybe going to take a few seconds because the idea is only to give you enough steps or enough frames to be able to understand what's actually happening. But David Lynch doesn't do that. He drags you through the entire process, and we can't figure out why, because there's seemingly so many details that are just not that important. But we know that within those, he's constantly hiding clues, right? So that's the show. But why does he want to do that? And because he does this in a lot of his work. Again, the only thing that I can come down to is that he's trying to slow things down and drag you through that process. And I say drag because we oftentimes speed through a lot of things in life, or a lot of things in our throughout our day for our work or whatever it is. And the way that he does it, it's almost as a reminder to slow things down and actually focus on the individual steps that it takes to get from one thing through the next. In his case, I think there's also some sort of satire where he's trying to show us how mundane some of the tasks that we do are, but yet we think we're so busy that we're actually, because we're doing something that's far more important, but what we're doing is really just a tedious mundane task. And I think he's almost just like making fun of us. But uh, still, I think if we can remember to focus on those details, so whatever your goal is, let's say you want to, in my case, I want to grow an audience on these different platforms: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Why? So that I can produce work projects that I can then deliver to this audience, either something that's free of value or something that will be paid, which will then help me build a business and grow it from there. Having an audience whose attention is basically captured. Well, it putting it that way, it kind of sounds like all I have to do is design something or develop something and then put it up for sale and attach like a credit card payments process to it. But that's not the truth. The truth is that there is this step by step by step by step. The work behind it to try to create something like that is far different than what one might perceive at first when you first think about this. The thought of just even producing some of this content to me means I have to write down different topics. I have a list in an app called Bear. I have to write down different topics, and then within each topic, I have to outline what some of the thoughts are. Then after I have that, I have to actually decide if I want to use one of those topics. In my case, I'll use them here for the daily stand-up. But then I also have the Always Sunday vlog, which is maybe a little bit bigger feature. Okay, so then I can take those topics and expand them into that vlog. Or I can put them up on Medium as a written blog. And then I can take some of that content and extend it even further and either do like photo shoots for like Instagram, or be them projects that I can later design around and put them on Dribble. And it just creates this like funnel of content where everything starts with one single stream of ideas and they filter out exponentially from there into these different mediums that I can use to eventually create that audience, get their attention, and then eventually create and sell a product, whether it's an app or it's the App Rabbit course or it's whatever else. And so the step by step is just like so long, and some of them can be drawn out, but we don't want to think about those things sometimes. Sometimes we just want to get to the end result. Other times we maybe just we can't picture what it looks like. So we don't know what we're skipping. We just assume the next logical step is forward, for example, but you can't see a clear path. Like, you just know the direction is forward. Slowing things down and trying to remember some of these things, the way that David Lynch drags us through a scene, to me, I interpret that as oftentimes the way forward isn't exactly forward. It's off to the side. You have to take these little tasks that seemingly take you off course, but if you pay attention, they're actually moving you a small step forward, even if it doesn't seem like it at first. For example, I never thought I'd be making a podcast, but it seemed like a great idea after I was doing the daily live stream. I'm now taking that content and trying to develop it further so I can create the bigger features. And I can see how that then starts to play out. But it wasn't until I actually started to create the podcast and edit the files that I started to see a clearer path. But before that, it just seemed like a good idea. And so that was me trying to focus in on the individual steps and drag myself through that process to see what was actually there. Much like David Lynch, again, drags us through these process or these scenes to actually see what's actually there. Instead of just assuming this character needs to walk across a room and put a glass in a sink, he drags you through it to actually see what every single step is like. So that's my show for today. I have more client work. I've been doing some web design projects, making a lot of good progress on it, and I should be wrapping one up today. So I need to get back to that, and I still haven't had any coffee this morning. my daughter was crying and my wife was trying to get ready, so I had to help out with that. So I need coffee. That's it. I hope you guys have a great day. Fantastic day. Get something done and either tweet me or comment or post something. Let me know what you guys are working on. I'd love to start hearing some feedback from you guys. So that's it. Have a good day. Bye.